Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be checking out Adabana by Nemophila. Hey guys, before we get started with today's video, I wanted to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Aura, which they are a all-in-one bundled service in the form of online security. And not only do they provide an antivirus service, but they do also check a bunch of broker sites that swap all of your personal information and they wipe out all of that info. So if you've ever noticed that you've been receiving emails or phone calls that kind of seem really like scammers, that's kind of when you know that your information has been out there. And whenever I look at my own information, there's maybe like one or two sites that I can probably stand to not have my information on. So this is a good example about why we could use a service like this. And they're actually offering a 14-day free trial, which you can check out via the link below in my description or in the comments. It's aura.com/RoninMan. So like I said, it is a bundle service. So it's not just checking broker sites and helping out with antivirus software. They also do have secure VPNs. They also give you live, up-to-date fraud alerts for any of your banking or your credit cards. They even have 24/7 US-based support, and they even insure you to up to $5 million of identity theft protection. So they've really gone all out to make sure that you are covered as long as you're under their protection. So feel free to check it out. Again, it's 14 days for free. So get yourself some extra security and check out my sponsor Aura at aura.com/RoninMan. And see if any of your data has been breached. Okay, so today we're going to be kind of going into a slightly different direction. We're going to be checking out some metal from Japan. And this band, I've checked out a number of songs and I've enjoyed quite a few of them. And one thing that I can say is that when I've been diving into a lot of these different bands from Japan, they seem to be very disciplined in just how well they play instruments. Whether you like the songs or not, they are just very skillful. They kind of put a lot of us over here to shame, and it just feels like a lot of them over there they're just on the ball. Nemophila is an all-girl band, and They all do metal, and they do screaming. They do all the things.
Okay.
Anything to add?
I don't really have anything to add because I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I like metal, and I like women, and I like women who scream.
Mm-hmm.
And so these have this has all the makings of something that I could potentially like, because again, I really love when women scream. But I am picky about the tone in which they do scream. And so that is going to be the biggest thing. And also I like clean vocals with my dirty vocals. Do they have clean vocals?
There's some clean in there. Yeah.
Okay. I like to have so I'm very picky. With this particular, this is gonna be hard because I am picky about specifically what we are listening to. I have very specific tastes, and I don't typically tend to deviate outside of them.
Mm.
And I will try to be nice.
Yeah, this video kind of stems off of the last auto reaction we did for Unravel, and we did also TK.
Right.
And a lot of you had a lot of good suggestions for what I should show Mal, because for those of you that don't know, we're kind of taking each other on two different paths. She's taking me through K-pop, and I'm taking her through J-pop, or at least other genres of music in Japan. And even though you've had some really great suggestions that I know I would probably like, I have to make sure all these boxes are checked when showing them to Mal, because Mal, you are...
Don't sugarcoat it. I'm picky as fuck, and if I don't like something, I'm gonna say it, and he's trying to avoid us going down that road. And it's hard for him because I'm very particular.
It was kind of eye-opening though, because I kind of felt like on paper I was like, oh yeah, there's tons of stuff I can show him out. There's so many really great things. But then I started really get really picky about it and go like, okay, because sometimes for me, a song will be we'll have a lot of skill sets that are being displayed that I can really appreciate and sink my teeth into, and I'll appreciate the song from that perspective. But then as far as the song itself, it may not be the most catchy song, and I'm trying to find something that embodies both at the same time.
And I do like melodic metal,
yeah,
versus just straight noise metal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this this one gets a little thrashy.
So you know this song though, you've heard this one before.
I've heard this song before, and
so this is what you've heard this and you thought, oh, she might like that.
It has potential.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to respond to it, to be
All right.
honest.
Okay.
But there's things in it that I like musically, not just skill-wise. So it kind of checked a little bit of both boxes for me.
All right.
So, and then I guess the rest is kind of up to you. And so
I do think it is important to note that you have showed me Otto. So now I feel like she's like the bar, right?
okay.
And her bar is like
Uh-oh.
way up here.
Uh-huh.
And I think like necessarily everything is gonna kind of be
That's fair, you know.
Yeah.
Like we may not run into an auto level, you
Yeah.
know, musician or.
but I could
group
still
or
like
whatever.
it. Look, I am
Yeah.
negativing this up already before we have even started, so let's not negative it up.
Yeah, okay, we're just being cautious, but let's go ahead and dive into this. But before
Yeah.
we do, guys, feel free to check out my YouTube memberships. They're only $1, and you get early access to videos like these, and also some anime reactions.
I keep moving away. Like,
Come closer to
my foot's falling asleep. I don't want to not sit on my feet. I'm not comfortable. Well, they're already adorable. So,
They do have a good sense of fashion.
yeah, that front woman, man, she's a hottie. Well, that's not helpful.
See, so for me, instrumentally and vocals, catchiness of the music, kind of, for me, it kind of hits all that.
Okay. There's one big problem, which I'll explain at the end.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
While I can see like the skill and technicality in like bits like this, it doesn't do a whole lot for me personally.
Mhm, okay.
Like this is a little too much for me,
Okay.
guitar wise.
This is probably my favorite part.
This is nice. This is really nice. It's a good build-up.
Okay, so sorry guys,
Hi.
we midway through the song, I just realized we didn't have the subtitles on or anything, so we didn't know what the lyrics were for the first half, and she is a lyric person, so that was probably a missing piece that she kind of needed for that.
Right.
But
so I think it's really hard when you're talking about like technical things and like really appreciating like the technical side of them. I only have one AirPod in.
right, yeah.
The sound is truncated so greatly by only hearing it out of one ear. I don't think it was possible for me to really hear the depth of their guitar playing, the intricacies. A lot of that was lost by only hearing it in one ear. So I don't really want to comment on that because I mean I could tell that there was like technologically superior things happening there, but like I couldn't really appreciate the full extent of it because I couldn't hear it. I think it's so we had just reacted to a K-pop group, Irene and Solgi, where I had kind of said the same thing. I went back home and I listened to that song after we reacted to it. And I'm like, oh my god, this song is so much better than what we listened to when we were sitting here because the sound is so much richer when you get it in both ears. So I think this is going to suffer a little bit from that.
Okay.
But I can comment on that I really enjoyed. The lead singer's voice is beautiful. She has a beautiful voice. And I think a lot of times when you have female screamers in metal, some level of vocal skill is sacrificed, or maybe we make some allowances for like lesser vocals because they can scream. But she could obviously do both and did both well. Like I loved her normal vocal tone. I loved the tone of her screams. So that I'm big on vocals. So the song gets tons of points just from her alone being so good at what she does.
Right.
But in terms of like technicality of guitar, drumming, things like that.
Well, you don't have to go into those things if like
I couldn't hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the song was melodic. It was catchy. I liked it. It really kind of actually reminded me of like an older style of rock and metal. I would say that was like more like heavier rock than metal, but I can't because I couldn't hear the guitars that well. So I think I'm missing the metal riffs, right?
Okay.
But it had like that older school sound, that like 2000s female fronted metal rock, whatever. I can't think
Let's do this.
Okay.
We're gonna magically cut this video to where all of a sudden things happened off screen, and we're going to fill that in for you.
Okay.
Let's have you go ahead and just listen to the song with both ears in.
Okay.
And then get that piece.
All right.
Because like
Okay.
that's not gonna make for good content if like you couldn't hear
Yeah.
that part, you
Okay.
know?
Right. Okay.
Okay.
It sounds so much different. There was stuff I was missing for sure. Okay. So that's amusing. Like that turned from kind of like a generic rock song into like a full-on heavy metal song.
Yeah.
You miss a lot. You miss a lot. The richness of the guitar.
Yeah, really deep, especially
Very all-encompassing kind of like relentless sound. That I just didn't.
even for me knowing the song, it was kind of hard to hear everything with just one
Right.
ear.
Yeah.
So even I could kind of tell that there was something missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure out this technical.
I
crap at
don't
some point.
think all songs would be so negatively impacted by that, but I think because of exactly what you said, there's so much like going on technically that if you're missing out on those like small little subtle things that they're doing, it does take away from kind of like the artwork as a whole, right? Because you're not getting like the full picture. Much more robust sound in that. I definitely, the metal guitars were like, I could hear them. Like because it didn't feel like a metal song when I was just kind of like half listening. But like I really got it there. Lyrically, okay, not.
Lyrics can be tough. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a difference, and it's I've kind of noticed this when it comes to just watching, you know, I hate to say the forbidden word K-pop in this video, but like when we're watching K-pop videos and I've had to read lyrics, they're written out a little more plainly in English than whenever I watch Japanese content, and like the wording feels disjointed. It doesn't feel like the wording flows with the translations for some Japanese content, and like so it's hard for me, at least for me, and I've never been a lyric guy to begin with, so I always just assumed that it was me, not the translation. But like it's hard for me to connect via the lyrics because of just the way that it's written out. When perhaps in its native language it's actually a lot more smoother and it flows a lot better.
Right.
So like I don't know if you felt that way reading just what was on the screen here, but like
Yeah, I think some of the poeticism of lyrics in other languages is lost in translation. Like, necessarily. I think when things are always, even like with books that I've read, I read a lot of books that are like translated from Spanish or whatever, and you can tell that there's gonna be some disjointedness to the process because it's created how the author or lyricist wanted it in the native original language. Any translation of that is only going to be an approximation. Like you can, there's something beautiful about every language in its own way that just doesn't translate well to other languages. So yeah, some of that's going to be lost. But I think the sentiment was nice. It was a nice, empowering, uplifting song. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love K-pop, but like metal and rock is kind of like my primary genre. I necessarily have to be a little bit harder on it because it's just like what I love the most. What I will say is that I like this better than the vast majority of J-metal that I've heard. I think like the melody of the song was great, the vocalists were great, the girls were beautiful, they played their instruments super well, and they were just fun to watch. So I enjoyed it, but it would still probably just be like a 7.
Okay.
Which I don't feel like is low.
No, that's actually...
It's still above average.
That's more... I wasn't actually sure where you would land with it, to be honest. So I think a 7 is a win. For me, I would... Because I've never rated it, I'd probably be around like 7.5, something like that.
Okay. So my favorite part was the intro. Like, she just like... The instant scream, but it sounded so like it was just impactful, like her vocals there, and then going into like her sweeter register or whatever. Like it was such a, it was 10 out of 10 opening for a song, like super like ear grabby, like gets your attention right away. So I love the intro. That was like my favorite part of it. Yeah, that's partially why I picked this song for you. It was actually one of the recommendations that we received in the list, and I was like, oh, it's actually one of my favorite Nemophila songs. So yeah, this for me kind of checked multiple boxes, and I was like, okay, this one has like probably the best shot at like at getting Mal. Yeah. But I also was not 100% sure. So yeah, I'm glad it connected in some way at least. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys, I guess that's it. Feel free to let us know in the comments what you want us to check out next. And Mal is kind of a blank slate with these things in like the J-pop world. So feel free to let us know what you want us to check out. And pretty good chance that she has not heard it. So but yeah, that's it from us. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. And
I want to see some cute pop. Thank you. Okay.
Cute stuff.
Cute stuff.
Cute J-pop. Yes.
Yep. Cute girls. Poppy, dancey, happy, boppy.
Yes. Not just the metal screaming stuff.
Screaming's great. Want cute. Thanks.
Yes,
Thank you and good night.
She likes cute girls.
Cute girls.
Cute girls. See ya.
Bye.